Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And this is our non-spoiler review for The Batman. The Batman is directed by Matt Reeves and stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Colin Farrell, Jeffrey Wright, and Andy Serkis. We've done it, guys. We've actually finally got to see the movie after months of watching the trailers, trying to avoid some of the clips because we didn't want to see too much before going to the film, listening to the Michael Giacchino tracks over and over again because the music was so good. We finally got to sit down and enjoy The Batman in theaters.
The hype is finally here, kind of a thing. Yeah, I mean, from all the trailers and everything, yeah, this movie has had some amazing hype to it.
Yes. And I feel like when they announced the casting, I think it feels like years ago, that Robert Pattinson was going to be donning the cowl, and I was like, wait, took a picture of him, covered his here so I could see it, and I was like, okay, I can see it, and I knew his acting ability would be really good, and their approach in this one, it is a year two beginning, newer Batman.
Yeah, younger,
newer Batman, and Matt Reeves said that this was going to have, kind of like murder, true crime, horror element to it. We're going to really get to see Batman as a detective. And as you guys saw in the trailers, those really awesome, very epic, if you will, action pieces.
Yeah, some of those shots, you can tell that it has a very strong artistic flavor to it with the darkness, the brooding. And one thing that Robert Pattinson has shown that he can do in his past films is brooding. And that is actually...
In a good way.
In a good way. In a way that
way.
Fits the character. Because anyone who's a big fan of Batman knows that brooding is part of the Batman persona, of the Batman cowl, so to speak.
Yeah. Let's not confuse brooding with whining.
I'm
not saying he's like a whiny Batman, because he is not. This is a Batman of fewer words, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And just his presence as Batman is, especially you can tell how it affects the other, characters that he meets in the movie. A lot of them are intimidated by the Batman. The city, kind of, especially the police force is kind of like, why is the Batman here? People have some mixed feelings about him, even though we, as the audience who know the Batman story, he's doing this for the love of the city. He loves this city. So in this one, we obviously have the Riddler played by Paul Dano, who... there's murders. They're trying to figure out why it's happening. We also get to see also a younger Jim Gordon in this one as well.
I know, and I think that Jeffrey Wright did an amazing job. Of course, it's Jeffrey Wright, so he has his voice, he has his amazing acting skills, and everything fit into this movie very well. The actors, the characters, and just the mood was just really hammered home a lot of the dark murder mystery, downright depressive sometimes in this mood, to where you're like, great, the politics are lying, the police are corrupt, there's tons of murderers and killers around.
Yeah.
Gotham sucks.
Gotham also rains a lot.
It rains a lot in Gotham.
But it makes everything look super cool.
Yes.
I do want to really touch on the cinematography, and I forget the name of the cinematographer escapes my head right now, but the way they played with light and shadow, it is, and I believe this movie was filmed it's made for IMAX, so if you can watch it on an IMAX screen, we would encourage that you do, because the way that they play with sometimes singular colors, they really kind of hone in on a specific red or yellow sometimes, that makes it look really cool. But the way they play with light and shadow, you saw examples of it already in the trailer, is amazing. There's actually, without giving too much spoiler away, they kind of did something similar in The Invisible Man, and they only did this for a small portion of the very beginning of the film, but they would cut to or the camera would pan to an empty dark space. You would hear that Batman theme song ramp up, and they don't tell you if he is there or not, to kind of hint at the Batman lurks in the shadow, so he is watching you, or is he not watching you? You don't know, but he could be. And you, as the audience, I felt that. And, if I was trying to do something sneaky, like breaking into a car or trying to rob somebody like that, I would think twice maybe especially when you see the bat signal in the sky.
Yeah, and saying that bat signal isn't just a signal, it's a reminder for all of those criminals that are out there that he could be lurking in the shadows. And also, I mean, a really good example of them using shadows and lighting is what they showed in the trailer of him walking down that hallway, and it's pitch black, and then all you get is the flashing of the gun. And they have a lot of examples of they have shots like that throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, and I would say this movie, we know the length of it. It's almost 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is. Do strap in for a long one. Do time your bathroom breaks accordingly. So just do know that we did see during the screening a few people kind of, and it was a scramble. Usually I see people like kind of casually walk out, like, you know, within reason, not trying to run out of theaters. Like every single person who left was like, we gotta go, we gotta come back, because you don't want to miss everything, because there was, while the action pieces are there and they're so epic, there's also a lot of exposition, because you're not just focusing on, you know, Dustin kind of touched on it earlier, there's the Riddler storyline of why he's doing what he's doing, then there's the overall Gotham politics and police force, like corrupt cops that are playing into it, and then we gotta kind of talk about, you know, Batman himself, and then we have the Selena Kyle storyline. So and the Penguin as well. So there's a lot to fit in, which I understand why it was the 3 hours. I feel like as far as pacing goes, Act 1 was fine. Act 2 is when it kind of like the energy kind of waned off for me a little bit.
No, I have to be there with you too. That there were some moments, not very many, but where I started to kind of sit there, and I think you even said it, to where you're kind of like watching this and you're going, I'm a little bored.
Yeah.
There are parts that do have a very significant drop in energy, in storytelling mode, to where it does get very slow in some parts.
Yeah.
But then it does pick back up.
And all those information are still important, so it's not like, okay, this is the perfect time to like for a pee break. Because I'm not saying that at all, but you're right. Act 3, they really it's the finale, so they really ramp it up. Everything is happening, and there is only one Batman. So, you know, and you kind of see for him his journey through this whole movie of where he was at the beginning, his mindset, and where he is at the end, because of some of the events that he experienced, as well as the people he met. So I really enjoy seeing that chemistry between Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson it's hot, hot, hot.
Yeah.
I think it's Catwoman. She's fantastic as Catwoman.
Oh yeah, she has because you know Catwoman really does have that kind of attitude and that kind of spunkiness and that kind of chip on her shoulder because of her past. And they did a really good job on developing that story arc, and she does a really good job of, I can take care of myself. I'm here for my purposes and not yours. But for right now, our what is it called? Our purposes aligned.
Are aligned, yeah, exactly. So, really enjoyed her. Really, again, enjoyed everybody in the cast, Colin Farrell, but Paul Dano, I feel like, really, really hit the home run. I expected it, because just from seeing the trailer, I was like, I think, you know, what I can see already in the trailer and what people have said. But I was really blown away by his, like, the further we dove into his story, the more I was like, man, like, I want to see him in this world again. I don't know if we're getting like a sequel or a continuation of this universe. I'm not sure, because I think initially they're saying no, but like if it makes money, like why wouldn't you want to do another one?
You know, it could very much be kind of like a Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
Like a one-off.
To where it is that one-off. It only is that one story. Yeah. But they did set it up to where it very much could have a continuation. They could expand the storyline. They could have more villains. So yeah, it very much leaves it open for more.
Let's talk about the final act there, because everything does happen, but when we, you know, have hit kind of the climax of the movie and they're trying to wrap everything up at the end, I think this is where I feel like personally they could have shaved off 10 minutes maybe. Yeah. Maybe 15. There were some very long tracking shots, which, again, absolutely beautiful. Does it propel the story forward? No. But is it there for you to enjoy because art? Absolutely.
I think overall, this entire movie really could have benefited from some shaving of certain scenes, to where maybe overall the entire movie got shaved by maybe 10, 20 minutes.
I feel like if they had taken off like the 10 to 20, they could have given more to Andy Serkis's Alfred. That's one of the nitpicky things I would have to say about this is I saw a lot less of Alfred than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I really expected for him to have more in the show, in the movie, for them to actually feature him a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I mean, he didn't really have much dialogue.
No, so and I really wanted to see more of his relationship with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Essentially. So, but you guys, this is an unspoiler review, so we don't want to get too far into it without giving away any sort of like spoilers and you know, details and things like that. We will tell you that you don't necessarily need to stay past the credits if you don't want to. There is a scene at the end, but it's not exactly a
so
post-credit scene. That's about as like details I can get.
Once the credits start rolling, you don't have to worry about staying.
If you gotta go,
if you gotta go, you can go. You're not going to miss anything,
Correct.
you know, vitally important.
Yeah. So overall, this movie, for as far as rating goes, and by the way, our rating for the movie couple rating, it's a little weird, but it's listed in the description below for you guys to check out. So for our rating, I've been looking forward to this movie ever since they made the announcement that it was going to be Robert Pattinson. I was like, yes, he's a great actor. Yes, he can do this. And then they brought out the trailer. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. And then you pair that with, you know, the Giacchino score, which is like they were not shy from using that.
Oh yeah.
And I ate it up. I just ate it up. I was like, more, play it more. I would say this is a check it out, and I will say check it out in IMAX if you can. If that's available to you, the cinematography is that amazing. And again, I believe it is made for IMAX. So if you can, check it out in IMAX.
I'm right there with you. This is a check it out. When you do go in, make sure that you're not expecting your typical superhero movie.
Correct.
It is very different. It is more along the lines of a murder mystery, with some action in it.
And
but
politics.
And politics. But I did enjoy this. I think it's definitely worth seeing in the theaters, and it is still a very good movie for the performances, for the cinematography, for the music. Really good. So go check it out.
There you go. There you have it. That is our non-spoiler review for Matt Reeves' The Batman. You guys, if you've seen it, comment in the comment section below what you thought of the film, some of your favorite moments, some of your not so favorite moments, your critiques or anything like that. Let us know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.